Hi guys. I'm just testing the lighting because I didn't have the studio today. So I'll be right back, okay? Guys. Okay. So this one's gonna be kind of different. I have this prepared for body movement and energy, but I'm gonna start it first because we have a full moon coming tomorrow night, and this energy is big. It's powerful, it's strong. A lot of you might have been feeling a lot of opposition this week, maybe, or a lot of feelings that you don't understand, and you're like, why do I feel that? And here goes the emotions. These are your guys's. There's a lot of feelings of, why am I feeling this way? I thought I healed that. I thought I was past that. What the full moon does is it is one with you. So what it's doing is it is highlighting everything that you have worked through, but asking you, really, have you really actually worked through it? Or because what we can easily do sometimes is we can start lying to ourselves about healing. And oh yeah, I'm healed, I'm good. Oh yeah, I'm doing the work, and so on and so forth. And what the full moon does is comes down and slaps you and says, but have you really though? Or are you just playing yourself? And everything I speak is because I've had to experience this. I've had to be smacked in the face by the energy of the full moon and feel feelings that I thought I was over and I thought I was through, and face opposition that I thought I was done facing. And the full moon really gives you an opportunity to say, have I really worked through this? Am I really healed from it? And it gives an opportunity to heal what's left. And don't ever look at anything as going backwards. If you feel like you're repeating the same thing, don't condemn yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't ever look at this journey as backwards, because everything is just a choice. There is no right or wrong way. There are just choices. But this full moon has brought a lot of opposition, even to me. I've been like stagnant in the work that I have to do, because my computer, I finally figured out how to get my writing done. So I started writing again last night, but everything is just like at a standstill for me, which is hard for me because I'm always doing something and moving forward. But it was a perfect opportunity for me to sit back and say, okay, who am I without all that work? Get back to the basics of what my core message is. Who are you if you're the only person on this earth? What will you do every minute of the day if you're the only one here to experience what you're doing? So I've been so defined by my work and by my books and by my message and helping people rise up, that again, I slowly let my own self slip away into that and just became defined only by that. So the full moon came and slapped me and said, hold on, girl, what about you? Now I'm going to take your ability away to work so that you can remember who you are and what you're going to do if you didn't have the ability to work, and find happiness again in that. So I want to remind you guys, really, really, really do the work. Really take this energy that you're being given, that's presenting you opposition or feelings or thoughts that you don't like having, and address them and really say, no, this is happening for a reason that is necessary, not to harm me or to stop me. I'm not going backwards, but really, really, it's time for us to make choices. It's time for us to really remember that it is only us. You are the only person existent in your reality. Think about it that way. Everything in your reality, every person in your family, every situation in your reality wouldn't exist if you didn't exist. So now take that one concept and apply that to your everyday life. Like, wait a minute, none of this would exist without me being here and creating what exists. And so that I needed to start with that, because it's this energy is very big. And it was unplanned that this body movement and energy fell the day before the full moon, where I'm going to tell you guys that it's time to take action. It's time to get off of your phones. It's time to stop depending on all of your information coming from here and from what other people are saying. And it's time for you to really look at yourself and say, what information am I supposed to be receiving from myself? And it's time to really start taking action on that. It's very easy to fall into a place of learning and getting excited about what you're learning through the phone. But if you're not physically moving and physically acting in that energy of forward movement, you're actually not moving forward, because the mind, body, and soul are one thing. If the mind and soul evolve, the body also has to be given attention to evolve. And so that's what all this is about. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you for being here. So I will go ahead and start, since it looks like there's more people here. And then I went ahead and upgraded my subscription, because last week people weren't able to join because I only was able to have 100 people. So I upgraded my subscription, and it looks like there's not even 100 people today, but that's okay. All right. So, oh, and see, this is another thing, is that on my computer, like, I usually know how to turn my notifications off. I can't figure it out on this one. So if you guys keep hearing a ding, I'm sorry, I apologize. I've tried. I feel like things are not where they're supposed to be on the computer, but that's okay, I'll figure it out. Okay, so in this workshop, the only book that I'm referencing is Love the Real Word of God, Part 4, and the chapter is Chakras. That chapter is very extensive. I actually just recorded that chapter for Audible. And that one chapter on the audiobook is going to be an hour and a half long. So it's like, yeah, so it's like a book inside of a book. So the chapter Chakras is going to be very important when addressing the whole movement thing I'm talking about. So the human body is a vessel that was necessary for an infinite being of creation to experience physical life in an energetic universe. Everything in creation is energy. The human being is the only physical thing in creation itself. And so when you think about that, what a miracle it is that you have the ability to experience this physical life in this physical body, because this is the only place where you can do that. This is the only physical existence in creation. When you see yourself as like, wow, what a miracle, what an opportunity, you might want to treat that body a little bit better. That's what made me want to treat my body better, was like, wow, this is such a gift that I'm able to exist. And I thought that was a really beautiful thing to share. The human body is very linear in its makeup. It is a beam of energy at its core, literally a beam of energy. To keep linear energy flowing, there must be physical movement. So the physical body is dense matter. It's the lowest frequency in all of creation, and that is in the chapter Chakras. Movement is the door to a rise in frequency. So so many people like to talk about raising your frequency and existing at the frequency of love and the frequency of creation. But physical movement is one of the doors that has to be open to increase that frequency genuinely and naturally, not force it. Society has taught exercise as the go-to source for health. Exercise engages the muscles, but addressed alone keeps the human being from engaging the body's alignment with the mind and soul. Exercise is taught in a way where the human being is encouraged to push themselves beyond what their body tells them they're capable of. This is a great demonstration of the power of the mind. But in this, who's actually listening to the body? Who's giving the body enough respect to say, you have a say-so in what I'm doing over me just trying to prove that I can do it. That needing to prove that comes with exercise is also very ego-based and doesn't allow the body to speak and allow the body to show you how it needs to move. And we have to start looking at the body as, you know, we're so focused on our soul and our mind transforming, and we forget that the body also needs that same excitement during its transformation as well. Who's listening to the body? Pain in the body is two things. It is felt in a space where the muscles are weak and being worked again, or it is the body speaking and asking the human being to give it a break. We can do the body a great disservice by ignoring its signs in the form of pain. Forward physical strength isn't always found in just pushing the body to its limits. Genuine physical strength, I have this little part highlighted. Genuine physical strength comes from an energetic level in alignment with the mind's ability to allow the body to speak. Do you respect your body enough to let it rest when it's tired? This respect creates genuine physical strength. So how many of you, when you think about getting healthy, you automatically think, oh, I need to go to the gym. Like, I need to go exercise. That's like the first thing that everybody does is, I need to get healthy, I'm gonna go to the gym. And what that's doing is it's not allowing the body to talk to you and say what it needs. Now, to some people that might sound like so stupid, oh, the body's gonna talk to you. They even tell me, you guys have seen that meme of that, like they made fun of that lady that was like, your body will tell you what it needs. And then people were making fun of it and they're like, dick, I need dick. And like saying all this, like I seen that and I was like, oh, they took her message and just made it like, they tore it to shambles. I died when I seen that because she was telling the truth, but God, they just ruined it. But it is so true. When we let go of the belief that it is exercise that's going to get us in our top physical form, and instead we start listening to what our body needs. If it comes into your mind that says, I need to start walking, or I need to start doing some kind of cardio. See, we are all individual people. So what works for me and what my body is asking me to do is not going to be fulfilling to your body, because your needs are different than mine, because we are two completely different beings in the sense of the energy we have harnessed, the traumas we've experienced, our perception of ourselves. It is all individual. Therefore, what your body needs to get you through all of that is going to be different from what my body needs. So at the beginning of this journey, I looked to, I went on YouTube. I never went to like yoga classes or anything. For me, my intuition told me, don't do that. Because, and when I asked, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to yoga class. And my intuition very strongly was like, no, do this by yourself. And I talked to myself. That's what I encourage you guys to do. And I was like, why wouldn't I go to yoga class? Like everybody does that. And the answer was very clear. It was saying, you're going to limit yourself if you're in front of people. If you're in front of people, you're going to be worried about how you look moving in the ways in front of those people. And what your body is calling you to do on this journey is asking you to allow it to move in ways that aren't normal or taught, or they aren't yoga, or they aren't, you know, specific routines, but rather there's ways that your body needs to move and stretch that is going to be very important in releasing these energy points within your body. The two people that I went to on YouTube for stretching and for yoga, and I just did very mild versions of yoga. I didn't get like super into it, but it's what I needed and it was enough for me. If you guys want to write them down, there's one called Yoga with Cassandra, and Cassandra's with a K. It's Kassandra. And I recommend her chakra, her yoga for the chakras. That's who I used for these chakras, because what she speaks while she's having you stretch really addresses things that you don't think about until she actually says it. And I kept my notebook with me right there, because when she would touch on things, I would gain so much clarity during these stretches. And I would pause it and I would sit there and write whatever was coming to me down, and then I would get back into it. Like, allow yourself to really do what you need to do to move forward. Don't let anybody tell you, no, you shouldn't pause. You should get deeply into the meditation. No, if you have to pause because your mind is filling up with an overabundance of information, you need to do that. Really listen to yourself. And then another person I used was Yoga with Adrienne, and that's ADRIENNE. She always has like a dog with her. Her dog sits there while she does yoga, and it's really cute. I think his name is Benji. But those two, for me personally, were the ones that called me. I scrolled through a lot and I clicked on a lot of videos, and a minute into him, I'm like, no, she's not the one, or he's not the one. So really do that. Like, I'm giving you who I used, but if they don't feel like they're the one for you, really allow yourself to scroll and trust yourself. Use this as kind of an exercise, an opportunity to allow your intuition to guide you to the very people who are meant to be on your path, because they might be the different ones than who I experienced. So that's very important. The power of the mind. Okay, so I'm going back to where I was talking about how in the gym, or if you have a trainer, you know that they're always really big, like, come on, you could do it, you could do it. And they're like pushing you, which is great, because like I said, it shows you the power of the mind, and it shows you that you're able to break through what you thought you couldn't. But at the same time, it's kind of from a foundation of ego of, let me prove that I can. And, you know, it's needing to prove that that is the problem, instead of saying, no, I want to keep doing this because I want to, because I want my body to become stronger. My body is telling me, yes, you can. When your body's telling you to keep pushing yourself, that's very different than when somebody else is telling you to keep going. If your body's, because I've done this where I'll be doing squats and I'll be nearing 200. And I'm like, oh my God. And my body is telling me, and it's always when I'm in Mexico for some reason. I think it's because I have to climb a lot of hills. So I like have to be physically in shape over there. But my body is telling me like, no, you can do this. You have to do this. You're able to. And so I will. Versus another person telling you, no, you have to do this, because then it turns your whole intent turns from listening to your body and your body telling you what you can do to proving to somebody else that you can do it. And so this is all very deep, important things that we don't really think about in these normal everyday activities that so many people are doing. Okay, so I left off where I said, do you respect your body enough to let it rest when it's tired? This respect is what creates physical strength. Forcing the body to do things based on what another says your body should be doing will never allow your body to speak, never genuinely guiding you to physical strength, which begins at the core of the human being, that is energy. So genuine physical strength is actually obtained through energy, an energy alignment of the mind, body, and soul. So I'll use myself for an example. I'm not a very big person. I don't exercise. Well, I do when I listen to myself. Sometimes I'm on it all the time. I'm doing stuff. Other times, like right now, I haven't done like exercise for many months, but my body is calling me to do it. Like, no, you got to get strong again. So I said, okay, but I'm strong. You know, I listen to my body. I give it rest when it needs rest. I work it out when it says work out, and I'm strong. I've never been met with an activity that was hard on me. And that is because my strength comes from the inside. My strength comes energetically in the actions of taking physical action when I'm asked to, and also resting when I'm asked to. So physical strength starts with energy. One can be physically strong, but if their mind and soul are not also energetically strong, the physical body isn't genuinely healthy. Example, people who live in the gym. And it says here, ask yourself these questions. Are you in the gym to obtain a certain physical appearance that society deems as healthy and attractive? Are you in the gym to obtain a certain muscular standard and strength that society perceives as healthy and attractive? And over here it says the gym is also like a drug to many people. It's an addiction that occupies one's time so they don't have to sit with their silence and heal internally. So again, physical strength. I personally know many people who are physically strong and physically fit, and you look at their body and you're like, wow, they really take care of themselves, and you really see them, you know, at a high standard. But I personally know these people, and they are very weak emotionally and mentally. They are very tormented inside. They're very unhappy inside. They are very depressed. And so we really have to let go of this whole perception of our body needing to look a certain way to prove to others that it's healthy. We don't have to look a certain way. The ways that society taught us we have to look and taught us what health is, isn't actually it. There are many people who are very cut and muscular without even working out. That's just how their body is, and that's how their body was meant to be. Then there's those of us, like myself, I don't work out. I don't need to work out, but at the same time, I don't feel like I have to work out to obtain a certain look. Do you know what I mean? So we really have to address everything. Everything goes back to, what is the reason I'm doing this for? Am I working out because my body is asking me to, or am I working out because this is what everybody thinks that we should do to be healthy? And that's just the tip of it. That's just the first dive into learning your body and its need for movement and physical activity and things like that. If the soul is not aligned with love, the body cannot genuinely manifest love to the human being. It is the ego that craves to use the body for attention, to be attractive and to be strong. If the human being is not consuming creation, the body cannot manifest genuine health and will eventually erupt into mental and emotional affliction. And again, this is what I spoke about. Many people that I know personally, their bodies are very fit, but they're experiencing mental and emotional affliction. Their mind and soul is in shambles. The gym and exercise alone cannot be the salvation of the mind and the soul that the body is one with. Part of accepting yourself genuinely is to allow the body to move in its natural ways, which are unknown to others because they are your ways. So hang in here, because I'm about to go deep and share some of my experiences that kind of ties into last week's workshop about sex and being ashamed and all of these things. So the unhealed human being usually doesn't allow the body to move in ways that feel good, because shame or discomfort comes forth about past trauma, usually sexual. When we move in certain ways, we become ashamed of that movement because we associate it with sexual movement. But what if it is that very movement that needs to take place to release blocked energy at that energetic point of the body? This is why it is so important to, and this is why I see that I was guided to do everything by myself, is because in that space of by yourself, you can allow yourself to do what you need to do to move how you need to move. When I first started doing the yoga and everything, there were many times where I was like, I would lay out my mat and then something would say like, no, don't turn on the videos, but rather just stretch and move and allow yourself to move. And I would move in very weird ways. And I used to think to myself, wow, if anybody seen me, they'd be like, she's a freak. Like, what is she doing? But these were, sometimes I would be doing this for like hours. And this is when I moved to Houston. So I had just myself and I had nothing but time. And I used that time to learn myself and learn my body. And that's how I know that this is very important, to allow yourself to just start moving and stretching, no matter what it looks like. If your body feels amazing in that position or doing that stretch or whatever, you have to do it, because our body holds our energy. Now, take your age and imagine how many days you've been alive, because every single day is a new energy. Now think about how much energy you're carrying in your body. It's a lot of energy. And to release it, you have to release it physically. This journey is so much more than just claiming to walk in love and to be love and to choose love, but rather to actually take the physical action to love yourself so much that you allow your body to do what it needs to do to release all of this energy that it's held for you for this many years. Yeah, so when we must genuinely allow the body to guide us in its ability to move in the ways needed to release blocked energy. Address the roots of the discomfort you feel when allowing the body to move and flow freely. So if you do feel uncomfortable in certain ways, even if you're doing some yoga poses, some of them might feel uncomfortable and make you feel ashamed or weird about being in that position. Really, really do make the conscious effort to do the work to address, why do I feel uncomfortable right now? I'm not doing anything wrong. My intention is not anything negative. Why do I feel discomfort in this space? And when you start addressing those roots, I mean, things are going to come up that were hidden. And that, oh, there's people here from the Philippines too. Hi, thank you for being here. So we got all around the world today. Okay, so yeah, so this is very important, is it just really, you know, what I'm doing here, guys, is everybody got so caught up in the spiritual world and frequency and all of these, you know, all of these spiritual truths, but the world is so caught up right now in all of that. And I was guided to bring you guys back to basics. The universe said, Shanna, somebody needs to ground humanity. Someone needs to bring them back to basics and remind them that it is a genuine acceptance of self. And I feel these emotions again. Maybe these ones are mine. I've been feeling very emotional for the world because, and I'm so grateful for those of you that are here, because the world has become such a space of chaos and confusion that everybody is easily led off track. And it hurts my heart to see how many people want help so bad, but still aren't realizing it's only you that can truly give you that help. I am the one here to provide that to you. But the best help I can provide to you is to remind you of why you should completely accept yourself so much that you completely trust yourself. And it breaks my heart to see how many people don't trust themselves. There's so many people on TikTok right now, like the spiritual people that have hundreds of thousands of followers. They're coming to me for help. In my Instagram, on my DMs, they're coming to me to help them release possession. Like, they have all these problems with them. And there's so many followers, they're leading the world astray. And they come to me to help them, and I help them, and then they go back and just do the same thing they're doing and never say anything about the truth, about what I've done or what the truth is that they know. And so I'm doing all of this to really remind you guys, back to the basics. Forget about frequency and trying to fit into a certain community or trying to be a savior to the world, but rather remember that you are the world. That's it. You are the world you're experiencing. If I can help people remember that, then humanity moves forward. Because that's where our power is. Together. We can only rise together when we rise individually. I can only say I truly helped somebody when I helped that somebody gain love, compassion, and faith in themselves. And so that's what I'm doing all this for. It might seem, you know, as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, this is such basic stuff. But at the same time, it's stuff that we've forgotten. And it's stuff that maybe you've never even heard before, because I talked about it years ago. before many of you were even here. You know, I talked about this in like 2019. And so, and it was on my YouTube channel, which has been banned. You know, I've been banned from YouTube. So as I'm reading this, I'm looking at it as very basic, but I want you guys to know that the reason I'm doing this little series of workshops is to get back to the basics. I'm going to have other series that are deeper and about more, actually next week's is a lot deeper, but just to remind you guys, don't allow yourself to get off the beaten path. That is simply accepting yourself, loving you for you, allowing yourself to be you. That includes moving your body. You have to get up and move your body. This was so strong on me. Why I included this in the series was because it was like I was given a vision of so many people on this path, and just finding all this la la la, love and light, everything is fine, but they're just sitting on their phones. And so I have to remind you, you have to live. You cannot genuinely evolve and ascend by constantly listening to someone else's wisdom. I want to remind you that you're here to gain your own wisdom. You're very big, you're very powerful, and you're here in this workshop right now for a reason. You're here to gain your own wisdom, and the only way to do that is to go and to live, to go and make decisions for yourself. And don't worry about them being good or bad, right or wrong, but do what you're being intuitively called to do. This is what's going to help you live. This is what's going to help you evolve and ascend in your own wisdom that you're here to bring to this earth. You guys are important, and you're here to bring something to earth that nobody else can. I'm here to bring something to earth that nobody else can. So are you, just like me. And what you're here to bring is different than me. So had to get that off my chest. Everybody with me still? Good? All right, cool. Okay, where'd I leave off? Oh, okay. So the world is walking as vessels of what others tell them to be, without healing and allowing themselves to be the individual that would reach a peak potential of healing healing the world with its presence. So just what I said right now is everybody's just listening to each other, but you're here with such a big, important role. And the only way that you can step into that role is to start living for yourself by your own intuitive guidance, not by the wisdom of others. It's time now. Those of you that are here, this is your time. This is your call. This is your soul asking you to, your soul is saying, oh my gosh, see me for how big I am. Your highest self is saying, please see me for how big I am. And please go and move and live. Go move your body. When you move your body, when you start stretching and things, clarity starts coming. You will connect with your highest self. You will start gaining information and wisdom. And if you take the action to write that stuff down, this is how we gain wisdom. This is where I started with stretching. Guided meditation. So let's talk about guided meditations and body movements that also in the spiritual world there's a lot of. It's still the path that another accessed for their evolution. So that means it will not truly lead you to your peak potential. Kind of, I've already talked about that. Anything that's guided is you walking the path that enlightened another. And that's why I don't and never have offered anything guided. I've never offered guided meditations or guided anything, because I am in a complete understanding that what works for me will not work for each one of you. So for me to lead you astray and make you believe that and charge you $20 to guide you somewhere that ain't gonna really take you nowhere, it's not right. So guided meditations, guided body movements, you can gain information there. Absolutely, you can learn new things there, but that is the path that another walked for their enlightenment, and it will never genuinely lead you to your own enlightenment. What works for another may not work 100% for you, but rather point you in the right direction. These are my little notes on the side. The direction may be leading you to realize that another's guidance will not lead you to your individuality. So again, when we let go of the fear of right and wrong and just start making decisions and doing things, that's how you learn. Sometimes you have to join these guided things so that you get there and you see, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. And then clarity will come as to why that's not for you. Boom, you gained wisdom. Like, so this is a, oops. So this is, I thought I had everybody muted, no? Oh, wow, that's okay. So yoga is a good starting place to unlock the limiting beliefs that you have about what your body is able to accomplish. The body is a beautiful thing, you guys. I don't care about your size. I don't care about your shape. I don't care about how long it's been since you've exercised. When you really have faith in your body and its abilities, your body will amaze you in the ways that it's able to move and stretch and what it's able to do for you and the strength that it actually has. But you have to allow it the space to show you that it's strong and show you that it's powerful and show you that it's beautiful. At some point, you must break free from another's plan of movement and listen to what your body needs to move at the moment. So kind of what I've been saying. Also, the spiritual world has something called ecstatic dance. Does anyone know what that is? Ecstatic dance. Okay, so let me give you a little story real quick. I was in Indonesia and I was on a small island. I wasn't in Bali. I never was called to go to Bali. I learned a while later I wasn't, but so I was on a very small island. And so they would have like yoga retreats there. And then I would see these flyers everywhere for ecstatic dance. And I was like, what the heck is ecstatic dance? I didn't know what it was. So then I meet this couple, this guy and this girl, and they're like, oh yeah, we live here. We're from Australia and we hold these ecstatic dance things and blah, blah. Mind you, while they're sitting there like hammered off of, they were drinking, they were sitting there smoking. They weren't taking care of themselves, but they led these ecstatic dance things. So I asked them, I was like, well, what is ecstatic dance for? And they're like, oh, it's so that you open your energy to the universe and you allow the universe to flow through your body. And they started like doing all this stuff. And I was like, yo, I gotta see this. So I went for shits and gigs. Let's just be honest. I went for shits and giggles. I just wanted to see what it was. And it was actually kind of scary, guys. I got there and I felt, this was at the beginning of my journey. So I was just learning that I had the ability to remove things from people and remove people of possession and entities and all these things. I was just learning this about myself. And I got there and it was like a whole group of just people who weren't themselves. I don't like using the word possession because the way our conditioned mind thinks of possession, you think like exorcist and all this and that. It's not like that. It's literally just any lower frequency entity that's with a person. That's possession. So I see all these people and they're just like, they're doing all these things. And then people are like, and doing all this stuff. And I was like, whoa, they're possessed. Like, I gotta get out of here. So I left. And I went back to my bungalow and I sat there and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I think I wrote it in my notebook, like, what the hell is ecstatic dance? And it was shown to me very clearly that, did I write it right here? So I wrote it right here. Ecstatic dance has become a place where individuals still subconsciously move and act according to the ways they think will make them appear free. It's no longer a genuine place of free movement. Ego has taken over this space, allowing lower frequency energies to inhabit the vessel and control the movement of the human beings as possession. And then I put in little stars next to it, creation is peaceful. It doesn't crave to move erratically. And boy, this was the truth. I mean, I don't judge people that are into this or anything. Like everybody has a choice what they want to do. So if you want to go do ecstatic dance, go ahead, go get you some moves in. But just remember, creation is peaceful. So if you're ever in a space where people are trying to force upon you some type of a movement or meditation or some type of a thought, and it feels very forced, just remember that's not creation. Creation is very free flowing and natural and doesn't crave to move erratically. So all of the movements that I've done throughout my times, even if they were weird or whatever, sometimes I did movements that were very sexual, and that's how I was able to speak about this, is because there came a point where I was like, why am I moving like this, and why is it making me feel weird, like weird inside? It made me feel like a little kid, and it really went back to things that made me uncomfortable as a little kid. So again, you have individual experiences waiting for you in this body movement, and allowing yourself to do what your body's asking you to do, not what another person's telling you have to do to be free or to allow the universe to flow through you. Like, you don't have to dance erratically for the universe to flow through you. I promise. You can take my word on that. So that was ecstatic dance. That was fun. The body will guide your soul and mind to the depths of healing if you approach the body with the same importance as the mind and soul. So I know sometimes when you walk on this path, you get, you're learning wisdom, you're gaining clarity, your life is changing, you're changing perspective, but then there can be times where you feel stuck and you feel like, well, I'm not gaining anything else. I'm not getting any new information. Nothing is actually changing anymore. Why is that? Remember that for energy to flow, for creation to flow through you, for your higher self to speak, everything takes a flow of energy. If you're not moving physically, you will become stuck mentally and emotionally, because all of it is one. So when you feel like things are not moving mentally and emotionally, ask yourself, am I moving my body? Am I allowing energy to flow freely through my body, through stretch, through dance? Even dance is a release, but your own way, your own dancing, moving how you want to do and how you want to dance. Sometimes it'll be off rhythm. Sometimes it won't look good. Who cares? If that's what your body is calling you to do, and that's what's going to make you happy in that moment and get energy flowing, do it. I bust moves all the time. People who have been around me know that I bust moves all the time. They can be, just for no reason. Do that. Allow yourself to really do these, just be yourself. Remember when you were a kid? Remember when you were a kid, how fearless you were to bust a move in the middle of the grocery store? Do that. I used to do it all the time, and my mom used to tell me that I got on her nerves when I would do that. So that's probably why I stopped doing it. But I used to do funny stuff when I was small, and I do that again. Just get back to moving the ways that you moved when you were little. When you were little, you didn't try to dance on beat and worry about, oh, this doesn't look good, so I'm not going to do it. Nah, if the music caught your soul, you move to it. You do that. Do this. I'm telling you, if you feel stuck, move. Go outside, get some fresh air, walk, run, dance, stretch. Move your body, and I guarantee you energy will move through your mind and your soul. Let's see. So this is very important, that the body will guide your soul and mind to depths of healing if you approach the body with the same importance as the mind and soul. Oh, and then right here, I have a little note coming off of the ecstatic dance thing. And it says, possession can occur easily through music, because sound is frequency and manipulates the cells at a molecular level, manipulating the very existence of the human being. So be very mindful of the music you're listening to as well. If it's not making you feel, if you're not listening to music and you're not like vibing with it, and it's making you feel amazing. If you notice that after you listen to certain music, your mind goes very negative and things like this, really pay attention to everything you're allowing into your space, because music is us. Sound is frequency, and we are frequency. So whatever frequency we are allowing into our space, we're allowing that to manipulate every cell in our body. And that goes back to the spiritual world and ecstatic dance too, is that I can still remember the beat they were playing at that whole little session. I was like, ooh, this ain't it. This ain't where I want to be. But music is very important. Okay. So the mind that still possesses ego, in the mind that still possesses ego, the body will shine light upon that ego by bringing pain or injury to a situation that is created by the ego. So what this means, and I put example, the gym. So what this means is that a lot of people, when the gym becomes what they define themselves by, it's their pride, their joy, what they define themselves by, it's their getaway. A lot of people go there because that's their only silent place to be. And then boom, there's an injury that takes all of that away. What that's doing, that's the body's way of aiding in forward evolution. That is the body's way of shutting everything down and saying, who are you at your mind and soul level now? So I always tell people, I actually wanted to speak about this in the food workshop, but I forgot to, is that it's in my notes though. So when I offer those, you guys can have all those too. When we start perceiving injury and disease and illness as necessary to awaken us to deeper levels of ourselves, instead of perceiving them as opposition, just changing your perception alone will lead you down the path of healing that injury. I was injured, I broke my ankle, and that's ultimately what led to me getting fired from my job that I was at for almost 20 years. And I could have looked at it like, oh my God, my life is falling apart. But it was the beginning of my journey. I asked the universe to take out of my life everything that no longer belonged. And I literally lost everything. And so I perceived this as the greatest moment of my life. While it appeared on the outside that my life had fallen apart, and it appeared that I had nothing, and it appeared that physically I looked the worst I had ever looked in my life, I looked at all of it as, this is what's necessary for me to move and become the best, to look the best I've ever looked in my life, to be the best I've ever been in my life. I had to first lose everything that kept me at my worst. Physical beauty, superficial appearance, always masks the true pain. I've learned this myself. When I looked my best physically, aesthetically, when I looked how society said a woman should look, I was the worst inside. And I think I'm kind of getting off topic here because I don't even remember what I was talking about. But oh yeah, about injuries and stuff. Yeah, when you start perceiving injuries as necessary, your healing and your path will become that of so much more positivity than everything is happening against you. When you start perceiving as things as coming against you, now your life will become a fight. And that's not what this path is. You're not meant to walk this path just fighting all the time. You're meant to walk this path choosing you all the time. And when things oppose you, you still just choose you in the face of that opposition, and that opposition fades away. The wolf is only as big and scary as you allow it to be. Fear is only as big and scary as you allow it to be. And when injury, disease, illness happens, it's not happening to harm you or to take something away from you or to condemn you or because it's consequence. It's happening because your highest self is saying, I'm here to shake you up so you can now look deeper into yourself beyond the physical abilities that you had, beyond the physical superficial health that you had. Now it's time to look deeper. I actually had a call with somebody yesterday. He's a very successful man that I know in Houston. He had a seizure that almost took his life. And he's very rich. And I've known him only for about a year, but he called me and he said, I really didn't know who else to turn to. And I gave this message to him. And I actually read the chapter out of Love 3 called Seizures to him. And I told him, this isn't happening to harm you. There's a reason it didn't take your life. And that reason is because you are being presented now an opportunity to look deeper within yourself, to say, who am I when everything I thought I was is taken away? So that's how important the body is. That's how powerful the body is the body has the ability to stop you in your tracks if you're not choosing to choose yourself. If you're not choosing love for yourself, the body will stop you in your tracks to take away everything that you thought was loving yourself and force you to search deeper. So to avoid all that, the best thing to do is just to start choosing you now. That's what I learned. I was like, if I make the decisions now, it doesn't have to be forced upon me, and it's a lot easier that way. Okay. So,
who's that last bit coming down?
Is somebody saying something? No? Okay. Okay. The body will lead you to places with its pains, feelings, or urges that your soul is not intuitively listening to. Let me give you guys an example of this. Listen very closely. The body will lead you to places with its pains, feelings, or urges that your soul is not intuitively listening to. So again, how powerful your body is. If your mind is not listening to your soul's guidance, your body will step in and try and force you to where you're supposed to go. So this is a very small example of this, but very powerful. The other day, my intuition said, go to Starbucks. Okay, cool. Which one? Because there's a lot of Starbucks right here. I always go to different Starbucks that I'm called to, and it's always for a reason. So I knew, okay, go to this one. So I went to that Starbucks, or actually I wanted to go to another one, but my intuition said, no, you got to go to this one. I was like, dang, okay. So I went to that one. I see this girl there. Her name is, well, I won't give her name, but I see this girl there and she works there. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen her in a long time. Give her a hug. Well, she was leaving and I was sitting there, and then she comes walking back in, and she just came and like stood at my table. And so I took my earphones down because I was writing, and I said, hey, are you leaving? She was like, yeah. So I got up and gave her a hug. And long story short, she ended up sitting down, and we ended up crying together because there was a message I had to give her that she, as soon as I spoke it, she said, I needed to hear this right now. Like, thank you so much. I really needed to hear this. And she's crying, and I'm crying with her. And she laughed before she left, and she said, do you want to know why I came back inside? And I said, why? She goes, because all of a sudden I had such bad cramps. And so I came in to go get my medicine from the back. She goes, but now I don't have cramps anymore, so I don't think I need the medicine. And so I laughed, and I said, it was never really cramps that you were having. It was your body forcing you to come in here because your soul wasn't listening to you saying, go talk to Shanna. And she was like, that was it, because I knew I needed to talk to you, but I didn't know what to say. So how powerful the body is. The body will literally conjure up pain that ain't even really there for no reason other than to lead you to a specific place for a specific reason. So we really have to listen to our body and trust in our body, and trust that everything that's happening to our body and in our body is not happening to harm you, but rather happening to make you look deeper within yourself at something. It's very important. The body is so powerful. You can eat healthy and you can exercise, but still feel incomplete and unhealthy. This is your body speaking to your mind and soul, saying there are deeper levels of healing to address besides the superficial healthy eating and exercise. Healthy eating alone won't allow the body to reach its peak potential if you don't first heal the body. A healed body is the foundation of growth. Kind of what I spoke about in the foods workshop about medical medium and healing the body. Starting to eat healthy, that is the first step. This is all steps. This is all a journey. This is steps, that we take. There's not boom, change overnight. These are steps. But somewhere in those steps, we have to stop and say, wait a minute. I've had this many years of destruction that I've been giving to my body, and I need to heal that. And so that's going to be the genuine foundation of your growth mentally and emotionally, is to heal your human body. And so whenever you feel called and like it's time to start doing that, really listen to that and start doing that. And again, your body will tell you, your life will tell you. If you're kind of dabbling back and forth, like, oh, kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, there will come a time where your highest self says, nah, you're done. And then you just won't even want certain things anymore. or, you know, just it happens in different ways. But really allow yourself to change. Allow yourself to let go of everything that you think is normal for your body, to allow your body to show you what is normal for itself. Exercise alone won't create genuine physical strength without first healing the mind and soul to perceive the body from a higher level. So they're all tied together. If one rises, so must the others. If one falls, the others also will fall. They are all together. So if you're falling physically and you're not allowing yourself to move physically, you're not giving any physical attention to your body, your mind and soul will also manifest that lack of attention, because they're all one, they're all the same. Engaging your soul alone will not genuinely lead you forward as a fulfilled, powerful human vessel of creation, without also engaging the body's ability to move and the mind's ability to connect to the body's guidance. Well, that's a good one. Sometimes I'd be writing stuff and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Okay, stretching. Stretching is my favorite. Stretching is the most important movement for the physical body. Muscles to the body are the same as every human being is to the source of creation. There is one source of creation that every human being is one with. There is no division between anything that exists. Every muscle of the body is connected in one way or another. There is no division in the muscles of the body. To allow energy to flow throughout every part of the body, you must begin by moving at least one part of the body. Energy is the core of the human vessel. The muscles must move for energy to flow. The muscles are the carriers for this energy. So if you're not moving these muscles, there is no way for energy to actually flow. Energy is the core. I just said that. Stretching is movement. For the body to benefit genuinely from exercise, the muscles must first be limber and aligned with each other. So my mom is actually doing, she's doing this thing, it's called Pain Academy. And the leader of it, you guys can look it up on Instagram. It's called, I think it's just the Pain Academy or Pain Academy. I'll confirm with her before we get off. It's quite expensive, but the guy's name is Vinny. And what you pay for it, it's actually like a lifelong thing. You pay one time and like you're there, he's there with you for the duration of how long you need him to be. But he really addresses something that isn't being addressed yet. I think he's the first one to do it, and now other people are starting to do it too. But what he does is, it's so much more than exercise, it's so much more than stretching. He is getting your joints and your muscles back to their natural function. And I didn't even realize until I started watching her do, and I did a couple of them with her before too, how much certain parts of our body compensate for other parts because those other parts are weak. And so this is why it's so important to listen to your body and move certain things at certain times and strengthen certain things at certain times, because that's what is needed. Because for your body to function as one, you know, at its peak potential as one being, every individual part needs to function at its peak potential. And so what this guy's doing, like, wow, it's really amazing what he's doing. He's healed people from scoliosis. And that's why my mom started doing it, because she's had severe scoliosis. Well, not severe, but she's had scoliosis her whole life. And she's straight now. Like, I've seen such crazy improvements in her posture and how she walks and how she moves. And this is so important. These are things that we have left out. How I was speaking about earlier, how the spiritual world has gotten so caught up in oh, the new earth and all this and that. And we forgot, wait a minute, are my joints even moving properly? Are my muscles even strong? You know, we forgot these things. Am I even moving my body to allow energy to flow? And yeah, so that's important. And there's lots of people out here to help in the process. I didn't have money to pay for things like that in the beginning. So that's where I come in and say, like, oh, you can do all of this yourself. So many of the movements that he does in her program, I actually already do. So it's kind of cool to see how my intuition has guided me to a genuine, deep level of healing that is being taught through another. So she'll say, oh, look at this one. And I'm like, oh, that's what I do every night, or, you know, so it's really cool. So if you don't have money to pay for things like this, I'm here to remind you, you don't need money. You don't need another person to tell you. You need trust in yourself. And that's, you will be doing the things that other people are paying to learn simply because you allowed yourself to accept it as that's what you needed. Let's see. Most human beings at this point of destruction are moving with imbalances and forcing the body to work with those imbalances instead of striving to find balance internally. So remember, as within, so without. So if you are off balance physically, you know, if you don't have good balance, if you feel like you're not strong and all this and that, that is a manifestation of what's going on internally. So to aid you in finding balance between the inside and the outside, you have to focus on both of them, not just the inside. A lot of people only focus on the inside and forget about the outside. You've got to find balance between both. And there is no right or wrong way to do it. There is an individual way to do it that you can only learn from your highest self. That is your intuition. If it's the middle of the day and you get a thought that says, put a mat out and start stretching this way and that way, like listen to it. You'll be amazed at what you come up with, I promise. So an imbalance in energy will manifest as a physical imbalance. Again, making healing of the mind and body the one true way to lead the body to physical strength. Contrary to societal beliefs, the way to progress your physical strength is to take some of the work out, allowing space to build a foundation upon which genuine strength can stand, trusting yourself and your body's guidance. So we've been made to believe that the more work we put in, the stronger we're getting, and you know, that there's more strength in the more work we're putting in. But sometimes more strength is found by taking some of the work out and really allowing yourself to just be and just learn what your body needs. And we have to change this perception of more work, more progress to trusting yourself is more progress. And sometimes that trust means your intuition saying, yo, chill. Maybe don't go to the gym 7 days a week. Take a chill and do something else that you are here to do, not forcing yourself to go to the gym, not forcing yourself to try and attain these certain societal standards that we think is health and we think is progress. You know, a six-pack isn't progress if inside you're still harnessing all of these emotions and anger and, you know, unhealed wounds and things like this. What good is you know, a big butt and a six-pack gonna do? Not much. I used to have them. Okay, so let's see. Sometimes progress requires letting go of the belief that pushing yourself to progress will create success. Ooh, there's another banger right there. Let me read it one more time. Sometimes progress requires letting go of the belief that pushing yourself to progress will create success. Creation doesn't force. To force anything upon your body is to keep creation from flowing naturally through it. Alternately, you must be honest with yourself and acknowledge when it's laziness or lack of wanting to put in the physical work to energetically rise. So it's just, again, it's that whole lying to ourselves that is very easy to do, like, oh no, my body is telling me to just rest and just not do anything. Like, is it really Karen, or do you just not want to exercise? You know, like really just we have to really just be honest with ourselves. Just honesty is the key. And that'll lead you to rest and relax, rest and move, and trust yourself. Other people will tell you, well, that doesn't make any sense how you're doing it. You're not gonna get anywhere doing it that way. But always remember, you're not trying to get somewhere that anyone else has already been. So why would you listen to their way of how they got there, right? Like if I'm trying to go to these movies and this person's telling me that they're at these movies, why would I go the way that they went? I'm not trying to see that movie. I'm trying to see this one. Think of it that way. It's actually very simple when you think of it that way. Okay, sometimes I already read that. All knowledge obtained will not genuinely transform the human being unless the human being is choosing to take physical action to transform their vessel of physical presence. You must move. Movement is life. Sitting on your phone acquiring knowledge doesn't guarantee that you are genuinely ascending and evolving. Only living can provide you with ascension and evolution. Get off of the, and I put this very clearly, get off of the phone for 1 month. So whoever that's hitting, get off of the phone for 1 month. See how you would live when you don't have anyone telling you how to live. See how you would perceive the world if nobody was telling you about the negatives of the world. This is huge. When we disconnect ourselves from all of this information that's being just pushed out right now, it's being pushed out for a reason, because it keeps you distracted. As long as we are distracted, we are not evolving. As long as we're not evolving, humanity is controlled. So really get off of your phone and see what kind of life would you live when you don't have someone constantly right there aiding you in how to live for that day. How would you see the world when you don't open your phone and see the news of everything negative going on in the world? You actually will see that you will see the world as you see yourself. You will start seeing beauty in the world when you disconnect from all of the information that tells you the world is ugly. Yeah, so that kind of didn't even relate, but it was in there, so had to be said, I guess. Genuine evolution is alignment of mind, body, and soul. All three are meant to lead one another. You must allow all three to flow. And that is the end of my notes here. And I wanted to let you guys know that I'm still working on, again, I'm having problems with my computer and my Google Drive. So I'm going to release all of these recorded videos and also my notes that go with them. So if you just hang tight, I'll have those whenever, you know. And I was going to charge like $5 for them, but you know, charging people for things never sits right with it. Just isn't what I'm supposed to do. It never feels okay. It never feels good. So I'm gonna just do the videos and the notes, how I do these workshops. If you feel guided to donate anything, please do. If you can't or are unable to or are not being guided to, then don't. Like, it's just really that simple. So I'll let you guys know when those are available. And y'all can unmute yourselves. And if anybody has any questions or wants to speak, we have a whole nother hour. And if you guys want to go early, we could do that. But yeah, this is a free space. So what are we gonna do with it? You're welcome, Rod. You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Ask. My name is Irene. Hi.
Hi, Irene.
So, okay, trauma being stored in the body and like doing our healing work. Like I just went through a moment where I pulled myself out of a emotionally abusive relationship and was just inactive physically for the last 6 months going through healing, right?
Yes.
And like now I feel that, and I love what you're saying, because I hear, you know, I've been guided to like stretch, and I'm like, well, stretching isn't exercising, and that's not movement.
Yes.
You just love, you know, what you said here, but like, are there any other, like, is it just that guidedness? Because I hear the spiritual community, you have to do somatic healing and you have to release the trauma from your body and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And like, I feel like, oh, I have to do a different modality of healing now to get things out of that, get all the trauma out of my physical body.
No, yeah, that goes back to that whole like disconnect yourself from all the information, because it will bring such confusion that then makes it seem overwhelming. So then you won't do anything.
Right.
And so you're absolutely, what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. How you've been inactive. I'll share too, when Kyle passed away, most of you know the story about Kyle. When he passed away, I didn't physically move, like I didn't exercise or anything for maybe almost a year. And it was okay, because my highest self was telling me there's so much. I'll get to you in a minute, Kara. Thank you. Keep that hand raised. My intuition, my higher self was telling me, Shanna, you're going through other things right now. So allow yourself to go through those other things And when it's time to get back to the physical body, your physical body is going to be right here waiting for you with open arms. So the fact that you said, you know, you got that, you weren't active for like 6 months, and then now you're feeling like stretch again, listen to that. Just listen to yourself. There's nothing you have to do, quote unquote, that will bring you genuine healing, as much as really just listening to yourself will. Everything I do, none of it aligns with anything the spiritual world says. So if I was going by their standards, I would be a mess right now. Like, they would be like, oh, she's not healed. But yeah, so really listen to yourself. You're doing a great job.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Go ahead, Kara, you can unmute yourself.
Unmute. There I am. Hey.
Hi.
Hi. This is kind of a broad question.
That's okay.
Basically, like, I sent you that message about like the custody drama with my children. I have like 4-year-old twins. Their dad, like, pretty much just like slandered me to like everyone, like, that there can be, the courts, child protective services, like, with all these crazy lies. And like I felt like I've been so persecuted. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been doing the work, I've been doing the exercise, the breathing, the yoga, the journaling, like reading the books, like trying to let go of everything I can. And I'm like, I still feel like I'm missing something, or like I'm not doing something right. Cause it's like, everything says that I should let them go and like go do my thing in life. But then like, I'm worried about them, and that like, what is going to happen to my kids if I leave them with this psycho?
Yeah.
Like,
No, so that's I can share my experience with my son. He chose to stay with his dad when I left to Houston, and his dad and his family are not the best people in the world, and I know that they could never provide the care to my son that I could. But I had to come to the understanding that my son was also born as a human being with a purpose and a mission, just like I was. And that purpose and mission includes him having to be with his father to experience that type of person, that type of family. That way he can make the choice. That way he can actually see the genuine person that I really am, because they also manipulated him into turning against me. He said at one point he didn't want to speak to me anymore. And what I did through that whole time was I said, because my higher self, because I could have easily, we didn't have anything in court, so I could have easily just went and snatched him. But my higher self said, no, you're going to cause more problems that way, because this is his journey. Love is not force. Creation is not force. So if you go and snatch him, that's forcing something that is not supposed to be. So I had to learn first to let go of my pride of being the one who raised him by myself. And I had to let that go in the understanding that this is his choice. Even though he was only 11, he is still a human being with wants and needs and choices. And this is the path that he came to walk. This is the journey he agreed to walk before he came to earth. Because you have to remember, our children, everybody that's here right now on this Zoom, all of our children have been here before. They are like us. We have all been here before, and so have our children. So we really have to understand that they agreed to this path when they got here. So they knew that this was going to happen. And this is where you have to have faith in yourself and let go of feeling of the need of, I'm doing the journaling, I'm doing the yoga and the reading and the stretching. Let go of all that. And let me ask you this one question, Kara. What are you doing to really make you happy every minute of the day? That's it.
nothing.
There it is. So then in that sense, the yoga, the books, like my books helped a lot of people, but they still can't genuinely help you until you are doing something that makes you happy. That is how we transform ourselves, is we start doing for ourselves. So maybe your children have been removed from you at this moment. This was another thing I had to learn, was that so I would have the space to myself to see, who am I if I'm not a mother? Who am I if I'm not a daughter, if I'm not a cousin, if I'm not a granddaughter? Who am I without all of these titles and obligations? And so there's another way that what you're perceiving as opposition to you, even though it is being done in a very ugly way, You can perceive it as the universe's way, because the universe way is something we can never see with our conditioned mind. This is the way of providing you with time to really remember who you are at the core of you, what really sets your soul on fire. When you wake up in the morning, what are you excited to do as soon as you get out of bed? When I get out of bed, I'm excited to do things. And I think that's actually very rare for people to feel, but I want to be the example that it's possible. I literally, when I get out of bed, I'm excited to get out of bed. When I go to bed excited for the day I just had. And that's what you're being asked to do now, Kara. So all this is being presented to you. That's one of the reasons. And there's so many lessons in this situation if you allow yourself to let it flow and allow yourself to learn different parts of yourself through the situation. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay,
A
good.
lot.
All right, thank you.
Very
Thank you for being here. Go ahead, Sandra.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Shauna.
Hi.
So I have a quick question. So obviously I had to be here because lately I hadn't been moving my body and I did feel stuck. And so I was like, okay, we have to get back to the gym. We have to get back to the gym. Thinking, like you said that,
Yeah.
health was going to the gym, right?
Right.
But this is where I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
There's times where I feel called to like dance or move my body a certain way, right? And even though I'm alone and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot, but I do it anyways, right?
Yes.
Especially if I'm outside playing with the dogs.
Yes.
I run around like a kid. Like I
Yeah.
run around with my arms up and I play with them and I run and I enjoy that. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but then you're saying about that dancing and I'm like, oh my God,
No. That's
am I
different.
psycho?
No, that's different. No, what I was saying was do everything that feels good to you. If you're
Okay.
feeling excited when you're doing that, like
Yeah.
the big key word right there was, I feel like a kid. This is what we have to get back to. We have to get back to who we were as children. Our soul never changed. We're still that child. We've just covered it up with everything we were told we had to do to be an adult. So do that. Run around with your arms out. What I was talking about was a whole gathering of people doing weird stuff.
No.
What you're being called to do that. And this is what I said, is to allow your body to move in weird ways, even if you feel like you look weird and it makes you feel weird. Really just allow it, because you're releasing so much that you don't even know. That is going to help you heal more and get healthy more than going to the gym would.
Yes, because once I started doing that and I started going outside and doing like gardening and stuff, right? But I felt like, I like to do spin because it's like there's music and there's movement and I feel like I release a lot of energy. And when I was doing it, I felt good, but I'm like, but I'm pushing my body, so I'm like, but right now when
I want to do spin.
What's that?
I think I want to do spin.
Let's go.
Yeah, you said spin, and I'm like, and my intuition said do it. So I think I want to do spin. Thanks.
Let's go.
Okay.
Whenever you want. There's one up here. I live up in here in Victorville too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, message me on Instagram and let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for answering my question, because
you're very welcome.
Like you said that, feeling like a child, and lately this last week I heard a song and I'm like, oh my God. And I felt like that's a song. I've never heard it. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's by Birdie. And I was like, oh my God, I felt like it's like my child, like me talking to my younger self and like bringing her back to life. And I just cried and cried and cried when I heard that song. And I had to tell myself, I love you. We're okay. We're gonna be okay. And I felt like I just needed to hold that inner child and like just bring her back. And ever since then, I felt, like I said, I was feeling stuck. And I was like, I feel so much better.
This is beautiful. For some reason, I thought you lived down the hill. So let's go. And then Beta, you come too.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do. Thank you so much for sharing that, and keep doing that. That is what's genuinely changing the world, you guys. This is what's
Thank you.
genuinely changing the world, is being authentic and allowing yourself to be that child again. It is that that's creating this new world. Promise, just trust me on this. Thank you, Sandra. Hi, Glenda, go ahead. Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet
Hi.
you. Shauna, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
So nice to
So
meet you.
I
Thank you for
usually
being
go
here.
by Joy, and I've spoken to you like a million
yes.
times.
I do know you by Joy, yes.
Yes. And so I fell and broke my ankle and my foot in like 5 different places about a year ago. And I contacted you, I think, from the hospital.
Ah, I do remember that, yes.
Yes. But when it happened, I felt like it was a spiritual change in my life. I was all over the place. I ripping around with my kids, like I was everywhere. So I felt like something just kind of forced me down for a little while. And it felt good. It didn't feel bad at all. Like I got to read a book. I was like, it's so excited because I work, and I never got to do anything for myself.
Right.
So now I'm back up and I'm going and everything. And my thing is this. I heard what you said about, trying to find an inner kid and do things that make you happy and do things for you. I think I run into a situation when I feel like my purpose too is to make sure my kids be the 100% their authentic selves. But I get caught up in being that mom, single parent that's always on the go and then still trying to make myself happy. So I just don't know how to balance that, because sometimes I get tired and I just don't even want to look at myself.
Right.
So
yeah.
How do you help? How do you do that?
Yeah. So first, there was a little key sentence that you said in there when you said that your purpose is to help your kids be 100% their authentic self.
Yes.
So that little sentence alone is showing that your energy is being put into your kids rather than to you.
Right. Yes.
What we have to really, really have faith in, and again, me being an example of it with my son, is that the only genuine way, the only way to teach your kids how to be their authentic selves is to be your authentic self, is to be the example of it, because kids don't actually listen. Teenagers and children, they don't actually listen, they watch. And if you're saying something to them that you're not actually doing, they automatically discredit what you're saying.
Gotcha.
I can speak for myself, even growing up, when adults would tell me to do certain things or be certain ways, I would think to myself, well, you don't even do it, so why do I have to? And so really evaluate everything in your life and ask yourself, all of the things that you do in a day, ask yourself, is this necessary? Or am I just trying, or did I become part of what's normal in society as normal life? So this also goes down to like activities that we have our kids in, like all these sports and all these things that we do with our children. Really ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I showing them to do this? Where is this going to take them? And is this allowing them to be their authentic self? And is it allowing me to be mine? Is it giving me space? Because there's a lot. I'm getting so much for you that I think maybe I'll have to have a conversation with you outside of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting a lot for you, because there's a lot here for you. But for everybody who's listening, it really just goes back down to, what would you do if you were the only person on this earth? What would you do with your day? And if it's not what you're currently doing, speak to your higher self, speak to the universe and say, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to do something else. What comes with that, though, make sure you really are ready, because what comes with that is a letting go of everything that you're currently doing.
Okay.
But there's a lot of changes. Especially this full moon right now is highlighting change. We have to allow change. Our life can't actually change if we're not actually changing anything in our life. and it's time. You're being called now. Message me on Instagram so that I
Okay.
don't forget, but there's a lot that I'm being given for you specifically.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Joy. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Betty. Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, there it goes.
Hi.
Oh, hi. So, okay, this full moon, oh my God, it's freaking crazy. I've been in like such a weird freaking mood this whole week.
Yeah.
I've been in a bad mood. Everything is irritating to me. It's freaking crazy. Whatever. I'm just like, now that you kind of just confirmed what it was, because I didn't know. I was just like, what the hell is this? You know,
Yeah.
but whatever. But my question is, how do I define, or how can I tell the difference between I think I've shared this with you before, like storing trauma.
Mhm.
My hips have been hurting for like the last, I don't know, 6-7 months. I know you told me, or you gave me an answer the other day, but how can I tell the difference between I need to go to the gym and stretch and, or like, just get moving, or deal with what I'm suppressing inside and, holding inside my body as like an emotion? Like, how can I tell the difference between that?
The internal work will always be the first answer.
Okay.
So if it's between letting go what you're suppressing and going to the gym, it's letting go of what you're suppressing. So the hips and the jaws, this is actually good. I'm glad you brought this up here so I can share this. The hips and the jaws are connected energetically, emotionally. So if your hips are very tight and painful, you probably also have like lockjaw sometimes, or very tight, or like you grind your teeth, like these types of things. This is a physical manifestation of emotions that you are holding within, you are not allowing yourself to feel.
Okay.
One way that will help you start releasing these without you even having to do anything is allowing yourself to cry. When you allow yourself to cry, and you don't allow yourself to cry, you always stop yourself. When we're in person, you stop yourself. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there, I'll be sitting there bawling like, oh, you need to cry, Betty. Just let yourself cry.
True. Shut up. I'm gonna cry right now.
No, allow yourself. This is you have to allow. See, your body is so powerful that the tears are trying to release what you have suppressed. They're trying to do it for you. Like your body is that loving of you that it's trying to do it for you because you're mentally not allowing yourself to. And you're physically feeling the pain of those emotions. Yeah. So to let go, to release that physical pain, you have to let go of the internal pain by allowing it to flow out of you, allowing the tears to cleanse it from you. It's just such a, picture this, close your eyes, everybody, real quick, close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Promise this isn't some weird guided thing, right? But picture your beautiful body, just this body, and it's so powerful, and it's done nothing but, and I'm gonna cry while I'm saying this because we forget to see our body like this. It has millions of cells, and every single one of those cells does nothing but love you. It does nothing but want the best for you. And it's begging you to allow it to help you. And one of those ways that it helps you is through tears. Now picture tears as this beautiful waterfall just pouring from your eyes over your whole entire body, over your heart, over your soul, cleansing all of this trauma and pain that your mind isn't allowing itself to cleanse. This beautiful waterfall is trying to just erupt over your body. And every cell in your body will be cleansed and transformed when that waterfall is allowed to flow. In that, the physical pain goes away because now the internal pain has flowed through you. You can open your eyes now. It was a beautiful vision I got with my eyes wide open. So I had to ask you to close your eyes so you could see the same thing I did. And this is the truth of who we are.
Yeah.
When you feel unloved or unappreciated, know that there's millions of living things, that is your cells, that they live for you. That's it. That's all that they do, is they live for you and they love you and they want to help you move forward. But you have to allow it. So pain in the hips and jaws, guys, if you have pains in the hips and jaws, if those are tight, maybe start looking up on YouTube as well. I think Adrienne, that Yoga with Adrienne, she has really good ones for the hips and the lower back.
Okay.
Really start doing those.
Do we need to like say anything, or I mean, just or visualize just releasing and letting go, or just
What I did personally was visualize. I envisioned all of the negative and the darkness and the pain. I pictured it leaving my body. And I would
Okay.
ask creation to then fill my body with the energy of creation.
Yeah.
And I would picture this beautiful light just coming through the top of my head and filling my whole entire body, pushing out everything that was dark. I envisioned this. And if you envision it and you believe it to be true, that's what we're here to do, is to believe in what we can't see. And then we see the physical manifestations of that belief. So you got this, girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you. And then Sandra's actually one of my good friends. So
I remember I met her at your house, right?
oh, you did?
Yeah. I met her there like last year, 2 years ago. It's been a while, but yeah, I thought she lived down the hill for some reason. So, okay,
right.
thank you. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hey,
Hi.
sorry. Hey, so I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't know. Should I just go forward with my situation or no? My question?
Yes, please do. So the thing
Oh.
about triggers is you
Yeah.
cannot make somebody else feel a certain way that they don't already feel within themselves. So don't ever be scared to ask a question or say what you need to say. It's okay. This is a safe
Okay.
space.
Okay, sorry. I just
No, you're
turn the light up, but sorry if you I'm just gonna so okay, so I don't want to do this, but I know
No,
that
please do it. You're in a safe space. Please
okay.
look at me really fast. Just look at me. I'm looking at you on the screen. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm looking at you. You're
Yeah.
safe. You're safe here. You can do this. Okay, just breathe and you can do this.
Sorry, I just
Don't apologize. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm crying with you. We're doing this together. Okay, but you're not doing anything wrong.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I tell myself, I just know I'm supposed to. I don't want to. I have a brain injury that I've been dealing with for 3 years. And, I don't want to go. Carrie, I'm trying to drop the story. Oh, okay, Carrie, I can do. But I'm saying this is part of it too. Like how much is brain injury, and how much is other stuff. But so Carrie, think.
Relax. Relax.
I can know.
You're safe. Okay, you can relax. Just breathe.
Sorry, guys. I'm so embarrassed.
Don't apologize. This is a safe place, I promise. There is no judgment here.
Okay, I'm
Don't
gonna focus on you.
apologize, but just breathe. Just breathe and know that you're safe. And you can say whatever you need to say. You're okay.
Yes, thank you.
No,
Thank
you're
you for I'm sorry. I can do this.
Yes, you can.
So I just it's like an internal battle right now. I know what I'm gonna do going forward. But because of like so many things you shared. But my question is, I know this wasn't an accident, so I'll just say it.
Yeah.
This was due to the hands of the pharmaceutical system and doctors. And so I get that. Obviously, I brought that on somehow. I get that.
No. So
right.
first, I want to stop you right there.
Yeah.
Don't condemn yourself. Don't blame yourself, because we only make choices based on what we know at the moment. Do not. So let's remove that first from you. Okay. Let's remove that. It's not your fault. Okay. You're not to blame. Okay. Everything just is what it is at the moment, but you have to forgive yourself. Okay. Let's start there. Okay. You're not at fault. Okay. So give yourself compassion. Give yourself compassion.
Yes. My question is based on what I just told you. I'm just now being just now, so I don't know how to explain it, but it was what I've been going through is torture beyond what, literally torture beyond the human mind could comprehend.
Right.
And so I'm saying that I'm saying that for a reason is, plus it's been almost 3 years, is I'm still on these drugs that that I didn't trust myself at the point when I experienced what I experienced, and literally though all I wanted was sleep, because I don't get sleep so much, and so I just went to the drugs to try to help. So here's my thing is I can't, and I've found people that are in my shoes, but all I'm trying to say is I'm not able to taper successfully at all. I'm
Right.
talking, and I know there's a question in here. Do I, I feel like being on these drugs, obviously I look at them as evil, because of everything that happened to me. Oh gosh, I see, like I get these heart things. See,
This is okay.
and then, like, my question is this: here's my question. Do I trust my body and stay on these drugs? Like, how do I, like, as you said, I'm saying is I'm not able to taper, and I'm going at even 5%. I was
Right.
at, it was only 5%, and they say to normally do like 10%. So I was way below that. And is it, I almost think, is it all these, I'm sorry, I'm asking you, I don't know what my question is.
No, it's okay. I know what your question is, and I can help you. Okay? I can help you. You're gonna be okay. First, you have to believe that. Okay?
I just feel like I'm gonna die all the time.
No. No, you're here for a reason. Okay? So you're here for a reason, and I can help you. I need you to message me on Instagram so that I can have you in there. And then I'm going to help you there, okay? But you have to, when you get off of this call, you have to have faith that help is here. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't allow yourself to believe that you're going to die. You have to have faith that help is here for help to be here, okay?
Yes.
And we can do this. You deserve it. There's a whole reason you're here right now. Okay? And that is because you can do this. And you do deserve it. Okay?
Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Thank you.
No, this is a place, this is home for you. You're fine. We love you. Everybody on the screen, I can tell you loves you.
Thank you.
Okay.
It means so much to me.
So message me on Instagram and we can do this, okay?
Thank you.
You're gonna be okay. So breathe and know that you're gonna be okay. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you guys.
I love you.
Love you guys.
Thank you for coming on here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you, Carrie.
Love you.
Yeah, a big I love you for Carrie. Unmute yourselves and let's do a big I love you for Carrie.
Love you, Carrie.
Love you, Carrie.
You got Carrie.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank
What
you
a
so much.
beautiful space this is. See that, Carrie? We got you.
Thank you.
Okay? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Love you,
Alrighty.
Carrie.
Thank you, guys. Alrighty, Grace, go ahead. Hello. Oh, don't forget to.
I was trying to go outside so they don't hear me. But I wanted to ask you when you say to like listen to your body. I'm one of those persons that goes like 100 miles per hour every day.
Yeah.
I don't allow myself to be quiet or at peace, and I think it's because I think it's because I'm not happy with my life in general.
Right.
So I feel like it's a safety mechanism from my part.
Yes.
To be going 100 miles every day.
Yes.
And at the same time, it annoys me when the people around me are not going at 100 miles like I am.
Yeah. You deserve peace, Grace. You deserve peace. And the truth that you just said right now is that you're not happy with your life in general. That is a truth that has to be acknowledged, and it's okay. You have to know that it's okay to feel that way. That the beginning of this journey starts with that acknowledgement, usually, is that's where I came to in a place in my life where I said, what is my life and what am I even doing? What am I even doing all of this for? So the fact that you had that honest acknowledgement right there, that's big in itself. And so now you have to untangle this whole cluster of yarn that's been just rolled up and rolled up and rolled up by keeping yourself distracted from acknowledging the things that you're unhappy about. And know that you deserve to be happy. You are important enough that you deserve happiness and you deserve peace. And your body wants to be there for you, but it can't because you're not being there for it, you know? And it's time. But you already answered your own questions. You said all of it. You said, I use this as a mechanism to not face what I'm not happy about. And that's big and alone. Like, that was your whole answer right there. You addressed already the root of why you stay so busy.
But
it's time.
What can I do to I don't know, like you said, like if you start listening to your body, or if you start listening to your intuition, I feel like you said, that I would have to leave everything that I know.
Yeah.
And everything that I know I love. Like my children are the father of my kids.
Yeah. And see, this is a big thing for everybody, where in this acknowledgement that, oh my gosh, I'm not happy with anything, comes that fear right away. I have to leave everything. But this is where we have to listen to our intuition, and there's a way through everything. And your intuition will always guide you to the most peaceful way that has the best interest of everybody involved. So you don't have to just pick up and leave everything, unless it comes to a point where you feel like that's what you have to do to save yourself, because alternately, you're not good to anybody if you're not even present here and here, you know? So this is really the fact that you're acknowledging this in general is huge, because this is an honesty. This is honesty that most of the world is unable to have with themselves. And I just want you to know, not to fear. You don't have to jump and change everything overnight, but rather in this acknowledgement, start learning about yourself. That's what's going to get you through this, is when you stop placing all of these responsibilities upon you. Stop placing the weight of the world upon your shoulders. You're not here to save the world and sacrifice yourself to do that. You're here to save yourself, which will energetically save the world. You have to remove all of this weight off of your shoulders. You have to remove all of the obligations and expectations that others have placed upon you. And you have to say, I don't want to do that, or I can't do that. And you have to start choosing you. This is a very important time for you. Uh-oh, are you frozen? Hello? Oh, I think we lost her for a minute. Okay, so we'll wait till she gets back on. Go ahead, Anita Bonita. Unmute yourself. I need to get some tissue. Hold on, I'm over here boo-hooing.
Hey girl, hey, hi everybody.
Hello, what's going on?
Well, what's going on? Everything's pretty good. I could say, like, I feel good. I had visions of myself working out, so I got a gym membership. But then right now you just talked about the gym. but I mean, I just saw myself running, so I was like, well, I'll just get myself a gym membership.
Yeah.
And every time I go, like, I'm always like pushing myself. Okay, can I run for a minute? Cool. Can I run for 2? Cool. Can I run more than 2? No.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good. Like, I feel like I'm finding the balance of everything, you know.
Good.
But the other day I was driving, and I remember like back in it, like before, like whenever like life or things were happening, I felt like there was like a chokehold on me, like this. Like I started feeling that recently, but I was thinking in my life, okay, well, my life, I feel pretty good. Like everything's worked out. I'm like letting things go, like doing what's good for me, allowing my daughter to be, letting her have a voice. I feel good. And I'm just like, well, what's going on? Like, why do I feel like a chokehold? So I stopped and I asked myself, all right, higher self, come on. Like, what is it? Like, what is it? How long do we have to wait for a response though? I'm like,
Your
hello?
highest self will respond to you when it knows that your soul is ready to receive the answer. So there's no limit, there's no time limit. It will answer you in the perfect timing. But maybe sometimes when you feel this chokehold, like you describe it, it's are you giving yourself time to just be? Are you giving yourself time without having to do something with that time? Are you giving yourself silence to just sit?
Well, I feel like recently, no.
That must be the chokehold.
I've done that. I just felt like I got a vision and I got a goal, and I could get pretty fixated. Like when I see something and I want to see it happen, and I just, you know, I
There's
get
the
and
chokehold.
gonna make it happen.
There's the chokehold, is that control. And so this is really big with visions and goals, is write them down, because you're getting it for a reason. Write them down, take action on it, but allow yourself to flow through that vision and goal however your body, mind, and soul is telling you to. So maybe it was saying, yeah, get in there and run. Now that you're doing that, now something else is going to come, then do that. Then when this comes back, then do that. See, this is a space where we have to allow ourselves to just do whatever we're guided to do at that given moment, no matter what your own plans were.
Yeah.
There's many of, and in that, when you allow yourself to do that, you will get so much more accomplished internally and physically than trying to follow your own plan. So really, I think what I'm seeing for you is you need to get back to giving yourself a space of just silence.
And that's so true, because I've done the complete opposite. Like I feel like I've been focusing on my kid, trying to like get everything right, but I didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just so focused on trying not to be in control.
Right.
You know, like
so you're still not allowing yourself to just be.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, things are good now. So now I'm gonna take control on something else, just to be like
to be doing something, quote unquote. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is you need to give yourself a space of silence again. And maybe the running you've seen yourself doing, do it, maybe put on some music with no words and go take a walk around your complex. Like give yourself, really put yourself in nature. It's about to be real nice this weekend.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Go take a walk around your hood, like put your music on and really allow yourself to just be, to not think about what you have to do, to not focus on your goals or your future. The future doesn't exist. It's being created by every decision you're making right now with your life. So if the decision you're making right now is to put yourself in nature and give yourself peace, you're creating a peaceful future for yourself.
Yeah.
Do that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I love you. I'll see you soon.
Love you. Yes. I'll see you.
Okay, Jessica, go ahead. Good to see you, sunshine.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute myself. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Kara. Was it Kara? Kara,
yes,
for asking her question about, you know, the letting go, and I feel like I'm really resonating with all of that, the letting go part.
With the children, yeah.
because I'm there. Yeah, with the children, it's just I'm there. So I just want to, give those who are there too my love. I'm my love because I know it's hard, and then I know it's hard, and I'm there too, and just want to thank her and thank you, Shanna, because that was definitely, I feel like, something that I needed to hear.
You're very
Because
welcome.
I did leave, but I came back. And I'm just feeling that stuck again.
Yeah.
So it's just I needed to hear that. So
Yes.
thank you, you guys.
You're very welcome.
And I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Allow yourself to cry. You don't
With
gotta
the
stop yourself.
chakras,
Go ahead.
is just the chakras. Um, I know you mentioned like with blockages that you get the cells hold, but how do I know of which of my chakras are blocked? Like how would I know which one is and how to unblock it?
So
With
actually,
the movement, yes, but
do you have Love Part 4? Have
I do.
you seen the chapter
I do.
chakras in there yet?
I'm finishing book 2 right now.
Oh, okay. So
I have not.
go into Love Part 4 and find the chapter chakras. Hold on, excuse me. There's actually one of the first ones that you have to release is your throat chakra. So that's what I'm just being given for you right now. See, this is how things work for me. I felt like I got punched in the throat right now when I started talking to you. So your throat chakra, this has to do with the inability that we have to speak our truth, or that's an underactive, that's an inactive. Underactive throat chakra is the fear that we carry to speak our truth. It creates a block here, and usually that block is created in childhood when we are made to feel like our opinion doesn't matter, we don't know what we're talking about, just be quiet, you're the child, you do what I say type of a thing. That creates a block in the throat. And also it can also be overactive, which means you speak entirely what you feel with no regard to what it does to others. So it can go either way for that, but I don't see yours being overactive, I see it being underactive. And so in that chapter, I tell of what it affects and what it means. So you really have to get back down. So I can go over it really, but it'll kind of take long because there's 7 of them. But basically the crown is the top of the head. This is our connection to divinity. And this is where we've been suppressed to be ourselves, and our thoughts, our intuition has been suppressed, creating that block here. Then we have the third eye, which is where we can see our oneness with all parallels of time, all dimensions, things that are not physical. This has also been blocked to keep us from knowing who we are. The throat, the thyroid, the throat, that's what I was talking about. This is associated with all of the organs here. Then we have the heart. The heart chakra has been blocked also in childhood when we are hurt by people that are supposed to love us, number 1, through abuse. Number 2, when we are abandoned by people that are supposed to care for us. And children, it's literally a broken heart. So it creates a block at the heart chakra, which is the literal space where we receive and give love. So it's literally blocking us from who we are, period. Then there's a solar plexus. Hold on, let me stand on the bed. Like I'm gonna show y'all. Then there's a solar plexus. It's the abdomen right here. This is pertaining to how you see yourself in the world and your role and your purpose in the world and the fears that you have of how other people see you. Then you have the sacral chakra, which is your reproductive organs. I talked about that a lot last week. That is your sexuality, which is directly connected to your creativity, which can be blocked through shame and abuse and all of this as well. Then you have the root chakra, which is the very core, like the end of the spine. That is said to be the foundation of your safety and stability, which also can be blocked in childhood if you were grown up in an environment that was not safe and stable, which can probably be most of our stories here. So that's like the quickest rundown of the chakras. But the yoga with Cassandra, if you look up her, type in yoga with Cassandra, chakra yoga or whatever like that, and do her routine. She has 7 of them and they're pretty lengthy. They're like 1 hour long. So you really have to give yourself time and space and know that you deserve that time and space to unblock these parts of yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
And I love everybody.
Thank you. We love you,
too, Shauna.
Jessica. Also, Amber, I wanted to, if you want to unmute yourself really quick, I wanted to let you guys know the people who are going through things with children. Amber, when I met Amber, I stayed with her in Hawaii at the end of, from December 21 till January 22. And she was going through things with her children as well. And I helped her through that. And she actually helped Kara. Weren't you the one, that Kara was the one that I sent to you, right?
Yeah.
To help. So I want anyone who's going through things with children to know that this is part of the journey. This is not, it's not only happening to you, it's happening because you are powerful enough and your children are powerful enough that we can change this whole perception of mother-child and possession and attachment and all these things that come with that relationship. We're here to change it. And that's why you're going through everything you're going through pertaining to children, is to detach from all of those thoughts that say you have to be with them to love them. I've learned all of this again through my son. My son and I have a really amazing relationship that was only possible because I chose to listen to my intuition, even if it made me cry sometimes because I just wanted to go take him from his dad's. I just wanted to go take him. So many times I just wanted to go take him. And my intuition would say no, and then so I would cry. And I just allowed it though. And I had faith. So I want all of you guys to know that if you're going through things with children, just know that the best way you can be yourself, you can be the best for your children, is to first be the best for yourself. It's the only way. And Amber, I think Amber likes also, she has great experience also with this. So Amber, if I can offer your inbox for if anybody needs help with anything, with understanding anything. I spend time in Amber's home. So I mean, she has like firsthand SHANNA, SHANNA information.
I do want to say, like, one of the most important things that you said to me and was just, they have a purpose here on this planet, just like you do.
And we have to remember
that was so powerful in realizing, like, because I've always said, like, I'm not raising children, I'm raising adults. And that was powerful when somebody said it to me. But then when you said on top of that, that they have a purpose here, that purpose is so strong and we can't have any control over it. And when we're putting our control over what their purpose is on this planet, then they're not fully living that. And then the last time I asked a question, it was for to disattach from them, right? Like, to not have so much attachment on what they're doing in their life. And I feel like we place that on everyone that's in our close circle. And then it doesn't allow us to fulfill our purpose, and it doesn't allow the ones in our circle to fulfill their purpose.
This part, yeah. So just know that you guys, it's this whole body movement thing is going to be, I feel like, because it's being spoken now and we're tying it in with children, is like, this is going to be your next level of learning and accepting more about yourself so that you can learn more about your children and learn that it is allowing them to choose who to be, not who you want them to be, that is going to genuinely create the human being that they're supposed to be, that they're here to be. So really get back to that, doing things for you, moving for you. And thank you, Amber. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And it's about time. If everybody wants to get on here and wave so I can record, because I like posting those, it's cool. And then unmute yourselves.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for all of
Yes, thank you.
all of the comments in the chat. Okay, so we're about to record. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you,
Thank
Shauna.
you.
Love
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Love you all.
I love you, Shauna.
Love you.
Thank
Love you,
you.
Shauna.
Love you.
Thank you guys
Love you
always for
guys.
being
Thank you
here.
so much.
Thank you for
Indigo.
creating a safe
See
space
you
for
guys next
everybody
week.
who's here. Thank you for creating a space of no judgment. And I love all of you guys. We're doing this. We're moving forward. We're genuinely the ones moving humanity forward by getting back to next week is going to be real good. So I even suggest invite people, like tell people I'll post the things so you
Can
can
you
see what
give us
it's
a
about.
hint?
I was about to ask if you could
Drum
tell us
roll.
what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
even.
We need a hint.
Okay, let me show you. Hold on.
Peek, trailer, and go.
It is memories and the subconscious mind.
Oh man.
Wow.
So this
Yeah.
is gonna go. This actually isn't even written yet. This is actually in part 5. So my notes that are gonna come with this one, you're gonna have like firsthand. You know, like you're gonna have like firsthand Shauna notes. But yeah, it's very important because our memories are stilling our present moment, and so it goes pretty deep. So if y'all know anybody who, I think it's a good place for maybe people who have lost somebody and are having a really hard time with the grieving process or not being able to let go of things, of people. This is going to be a real good space for that. Okay. All right, guys. I love you.
Love you.
Thank
Bye.
for joining
Yeah.
us. Have a good night.
I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Wednesday.
Shauna, can I stay to like tell you something for a
Wait,
quick second?
who's
Can you hear
talking?
me? Camila.
Oh, Kamela. Yeah, actually, video me on Instagram in like 5 minutes.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
can?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and do that.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. I'm just looking at everybody's comments. Thank you guys. Thank you for being on here. Oh, you guys are so cool. This is like the coolest Zoom room ever. All right, I'm just gonna record these and then I'm gonna end it. All right, love you guys. Have a good night.